Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.
Oh, we are live, baby, live. Welcome to Pub Sports Radio, NCAA Net Profit. I'm Conor Mack. He's Hurricane Stan, as I see on the name tag, aka Maxwell Smart, aka Jerry Rubenstein, aka whatever you want to call him. But how's it going, my friend? How you doing on this Thursday, December 30th?
Well, I'm definitely a mixed bag of emotions like normal. I'm a roller coaster when it comes to tailing. And last night, there were some teams that I want to send dead animals in a shoebox, not vacuum sealed, to with a thank you card for stripping me of my hard-earned money. So special thank you to Hofstra and Moorhead State. Appreciate your efforts, boys. And you can go fuck an egg.
Oh, that was rough, Max. This team, I see the second half, we're Stony Brook, and then they play the next 2 or 3 games. Unreal. You know, they beat Monmouth. They're playing good basketball. And William and Mary, like we talked about, this team, like they covered once. They can even cover, you know, against bad teams. They're losing by 20. I mean, talk about, shout out to Nilo with the 699 dono. He says, dip those tenders in honey mustard.
No.
Shots fired from our guy Nilo.
No, Nilo.
Shots fired.
I'll just say this, Connor. When you go 3 for 19 from 3 in the first half, what makes you think that you're gonna start hitting them in the second? Take it to the goddamn rim. I blame that Hofstra second half performance on the coaching staff for not smacking somebody in the back of the head and being like, let's play a little old school basketball. You guys cannot make a 3 if your life depended on it. You've tied the game up. You've taken the lead. And then whatever. It was just, it was a game that made people want to go to sleep, go into the shower with their clothes on, and freaking wash themselves.
It was just, yeah, when you're that much better than a team like that, just get to the rack, score. Anyways, it's out of the way. The rest of the night was pretty good for me. VMI not only needed those points, we talked about got for 11, down to 9, even 8.5. They went outright. I thought they could if they shot it well. They did. Wofford scored as well. We get a game over 140, which I thought was light. Go ahead.
And let's just make sure that we point out that Jake Stevens was unstoppable, almost a 30 bird on them. And what do we say? VMI, if they're going to be in that game, they're going to be leading at halftime. First half money line, first half spread were very nice cupcakes that you could have devoured.
Yeah. And the guy like Stevens, he's a big part of it. So them not only to win, but to cover, he had to be good. And he was. Illinois State covered for me. They played a great game in Wisconsin. Just asleep at the wheel all game long.
Party, bro. That was a party. Yeah. That was like Henny and Cranberry for everybody. My God, Antonio Reeves and that Illinois State Redbird team, they are deep talented and they can score if you let them. Whoa.
They have, I talked about it yesterday. The 4 or 5 guys, you know, basically double digits that can score, and then of course led by Reeves. Yeah, they can light it up at times. And then the over, which I thought was pretty light at 144. NC State Miami, clearly got over. Miami took care of business as well in the end. I believe it was 91-83. Real quick, your other ones, Providence took care of business, Max. Great call. I love that as well. But let's run through the rest of the scores real quick, finish up on yesterday, and then we'll get to your line movements, and then we'll get to our game. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
All righty. Let's run through some of these that, might not got touched on. That games, of course, you talk about because we try to talk about every game. And now with all the cancellations, we'll get to everyone today, way before the show should be done. So, Furman, huge win over Sanford. Man, beat down there, 81-49. That was wild. How about Gardner-Webb? 77. Georgia, hello. Where's Georgia? There's the Georgia team I thought I'd see at times. Boom. Man, I wish I was all over Gardner-Webb yesterday. I talked about how I wanted more points. They win by 17. Shit. Where the hell was I? Too late to the party. Too late to the dance for this guy. Sacred Heart just got the win. I thought that was a decent look. They won by 4, 69-65. We can't even talk about that Hofstra game. It'll drive me wild. Iowa, 92-71 over Western Illinois. A lot of points in that one, like normal. How about Louisville? They come back late. I took them live, money line, to win the game. I don't know, plus 165. They came through, but Wake Forest did get the cover if you had the points, depending on where you got it. You know.
Yeah, I was on the Wake Forest side, first half, full game, and team total over. All 3 cashed, and God bless Malik Williams for missing that goddamn free throw late. It was wild.
I'm sure. Kansas, 88-61 over Nevada. Nevada just no defense, can't do a goddamn thing. Big one here, Max. There's the 2 games. Tulsa didn't get it done, just missed.
Yeah, one.
If you had Tulsa, that was hard. But Tulane, we talked about, those were kind of 2-game dogs that they came through. Not only cover, get the outright win.
Well,
over this Memphis team keeps on doing it for us, Max.
The big difference in that game, Connor, was the fact that we did not know when we did the show that Jalen Cook was going to play. Jalen Cook not only played, he starred with a 20-plus point performance and was the reason why Tulane won that game. Because they almost blew it. They had a big lead in Memphis. Was pressing them late.
They did. We mentioned it, the Miami NC State 91-83. And then that's it. That's the rest of last night. We had all those cancellations. Alrighty, my favorite segment of the show. I want to get to your line movements, Max, from last night to today. Let's give me some of the big ones, 2, 3, 4, 5 point, maybe even some days we see, whether it's a total or a side, that stick out to you.
Yeah, definitely what's stuck out to me on today's line movements have definitely been in the totals, and I think that points are going to matter when it comes down to it. The number is the most important thing, and the first one that I noticed was, why is the number going the wrong way in the FIU Old Dominion game? 127.5 down to 125 or 125.5. That's a spot where I'm not really understanding the line move. I do know that Old Dominion is not very 3-point oriented outside of CJ Kaiser, but I would think that this game would be somewhere in the 130s when it ends up tonight. Another line move that was interesting was the fact that Michigan has gone from a 4.5 point favorite down to 3 on the road versus an experienced UCF team. As far as spreads moving, we have seen a steep move in favor of Robert Morris in the game against Oakland. They're going to get up against Jamal Cain. And I think that when you look at that number moving from 14.5 to 11, you definitely get some good value with Oakland coming off the Michigan State loss. And Robert Morris, they may have beat St. Francis, Pennsylvania, but that doesn't mean that this line move is correct, in my opinion. Another move that definitely caught my eye was this game in South Dakota State and North Dakota State. We have seen a 2-point line move in favor of North Dakota State, who is the home team. I think it's going to be a real testament to see what South Dakota State can do on the road against this North Dakota State team that's healthy and has Sam Griesel back. One of the more perplexing moves, and it's the spread and the total, Troy and Texas State. We know that Texas State's going to be missing 4 players. It just hasn't been announced yet which 4 players are going to be out of the lineup. And if it's Caleb Asbury, Mason Harrell, or Shelby Adams, they're in big trouble. So we've seen this line go from 9 to 6. And I think that with the total going up from 129 to 132, definitely indicative of Troy having some value as a money line dog today. As far as other lines that have really moved, Connor, the big one that's moving right now as we speak is the UT Martin Austin P game, going down from 142.5 to 136.5 right now. And that's a crazy line move. So definitely something there. Definitely somebody's out. And I just don't have the information in front of me right now to give you.
I was gonna say the same thing to you because I was gonna look that up or ask you what was going on because that was the steepest one that I had seen on the board that I was looking at just in the last few hours so far. Excellent work, my guy. I always love it. Not a crazy one so much today. You know, we had a lot of cancellations, but not so. We haven't seen any real other than that game. You know, 4 or 5 point moves, just a few points here and there. Before we get into your games, I gotta give a shout out to the best chat in the game. You know it, Max. Pub Sports Radio. We be pubbing all day and all night. Cash Action Bets. T-Mac Taylor MacArthur. Our guy Nilo with the dono. I won't even say the words again, what he said, Max. Kenny V. Tony Cobbs. How you doing? She said cupcakes. Definitely. What's up, Tony? Trap Mixtape Reviews, what's up? Big Show, our guy in the back, always on the 1s and 2s. Our guy Crystal Warren, Cash Action Bets. Eric Chang, what's up, my man? How you doing? Ray Charles, Rob, Nuke Worker, what's up, my man? Real Deal Prime, The Grinder, always. Got his eyes open back there, The Grinder. Rodney Barton, my man, how are you doing? Alrighty, Max, let's get to these games. Let's rip it. Let's get it today. Let's have a good day here on Thursday. Let's get to your first one that you want to talk about. Abilene versus Utah Valley. This was one I took a lot of look at here. Abilene's favored by 1.5. Totals right around 135. What's your look here?
Yeah, for me in this spot, there's not going to be Justin Harmon or Trey Woodbury in the lineup, in my opinion, for the Wolverines tonight. But I do think that they are going to welcome Abilene Christian to the Western Athletic Conference. And I think that they're going to have to do that with what works. Fairdaw Amick, he is the difference maker. He is the guy that can give you 25 and 15. He's going to need an outlier type performance. But I think from a backcourt perspective, who I've been really impressed with is Latrey Darthart. This is a guy that has good size, not the biggest, strongest guy, but knows how to work his way in the paint alongside defenders. Abilene Christian is definitely a dangerous team. They've won 9 in a row. And that is definitely something that's holding me back. But what I've seen from Utah Valley at home is different than what I see on the road. We've seen them knock out teams, even if they got to go to overtime. I don't really care about that. I think Utah Valley wins this game, even though they're missing some guys. And if I'm lucky, Trey Woodbury will play tonight, be the difference maker, and they'll win this game. So as much as I love Abilene Christian, beating Longwood, beating Cal State Bakersfield, beating Drexel, Incarnate Word, those are not going to sell me on it when you're going into a hostile environment like the Wolverines have at home. Fill the goddamn house. Pack that shit up. And if you're international like me and Taylor MacArthur, you can watch this game on the WAC Digital Network for free. And I love that.
Beautiful. A little shout out to the WAC Digital Network. Yeah, Abilene just has played good all year. You talked about, I liked them, but now they moved to a favorite. I've been a big backer of Utah Valley all year long. So difficult one for me. And Abilene, a team this year, going over a little bit, Max, scoring the basketball a lot more than they were kind of a dead under team as in last year. Let's get to your second one here. Denver versus Oral Roberts. These are teams that score here. Oral Roberts favored by 15. Totals 144. What's your look here?
Yeah, my thing with Denver is what is the status of KJ Hunt? If KJ Hunt is not in the lineup, I do think Oral Roberts mops the floor with them. Otherwise, this is a spot where I definitely like the over. I think that Oral Roberts is going to have to get other performances and other double-digit scoring production from other guys in the lineup like Francis Lassie. But I think that when you look at Kareem Thompson, this is the guy that can really take advantage of all those double teams that Max Abamas is going to get. If he's able to do that and they're able to really push the tempo, get up and down, and get their style of play, I think that this number is going to find its way over. I think that any Summit League game where I see under 150 is always going to be something I'm going to consider. I think that at home, we're going to see them be able to shoot the ball better. It's just a matter of, can Denver give you that necessary production to get this full game over? I think that when you look at Denver, this is a team that can hit some threes. They are selective, but they got to get to the free throw line. And that's something that Oral Roberts doesn't really do and put their opponent on the line. So being able to deal with the offensive rebounding advantage Oral Roberts is going to have is another issue for Denver, and another reason why, if they don't have KJ Hunt, I just cannot back them even as a 14.5 or 15-point dog. I think the over is a safer play. I think that Oral Roberts does most of the scoring, and coming off that South Dakota State loss, it is a good situational rebound spot.
I think, can Denver get to mid-60s? If they do, because I think Oral Roberts gets it to the 80s. So that's what was my lean in this game. When I saw 144, that was my look. I almost put this on mine as well, taking that over 144. All righty. Let's get to your next one here. We have Marshall versus La Tech. La Tech's favored by 6.5. The total's 155.5. What's your look in this one?
Yeah, listen, I think that this La Tech team definitely has to play a little different, not having Isaiah Crawford in the lineup for the rest of the year. But this is why you got Keaton Willis from Incarnate Word. He's done good in small spurts, giving you some double-digit scoring production, giving you some facilitation, and crashing the glass, which is something that Coach Conkle expects out of all of his guards. I think that when you look at La Tech, this is a definite good matchup to see how their backcourt is going to match up against some of the experienced backcourts that you're going to go up against in Conference USA. Tavion Kinsey and Andrew Taylor are non-3-point reliant guards. They will get to the rim, they will use screens, and they will roll to the bucket. I think that with Tavion Kinsey, he is the guy that La Tech is going to have to narrow in on, but the difference maker for this team and who sets the tone in every La Tech game is Kenneth Lofton. Let him use that good footwork. Let him use that freaking, I don't even know, Jedi power of getting to the fucking rim. That kid is a fucking Team USA player, and he's going to be the difference tonight. I think that La Tech is going to provide the value where they provided value all year, and that is in first halves. That's where I've been feeling them. That's where I've liked them, and that's where I like them in this situation. Marshall is very different than they are on the road and then at home. I think that with La Tech, not only are they dominant on the road in the first half, they've been dominant at home. I think they put up a 40 bird. They keep Marshall under 35, and I'm looking at La Tech first half. That's my play, and shout out to Taylor MacArthur, who I believe also likes that play. And when two Canadians like the same play, it's like drinking a Molson Canadian and smacking somebody with a beaver tail. It's fun.
Beautiful. What number did you get, just to let everyone know? 3.5, or what was it?
I got 3.5. Yeah.
Okay. There's probably 3.5. Maybe there's 4s. Double check out there if you're going to play this. We kind of go faster. All right, look right now. Weber State versus Montana State here. Max line 2.5. Total 144. What is your look here?
Yeah, listen, this is another spot where we have two Big Sky teams that can both put up 70 plus. It's a matter of how good their defense is going to be. We know that Weber's 3-point defense is pretty poor. And Montana State, the only issue with them is how many threes are they going to make? They got to make 10 plus threes in this game to win it. I think that Weber State has been getting smacked around by some better teams. Now they get back into alignment with someone that they can win against. And with their backcourt, they're going to need guys like Zaire Porter and Dylan Jones to step up and be the difference makers up front and have to use some of that bench depth. But for me, the play in this game is always going to be looking towards the over. I think that with the first half, why I'm not doubling up is that I have seen Montana State's defense be pretty stout in the first half, especially at home. But I have seen them get loosey-goosey with leads, and hopefully this is going to be one of those situations. I think that we do get good scoring in the first half, but we do get it turned up a notch by both teams who put up 40 plus in the second half. So I'm looking at the over in this game. Montana State doesn't play a lot of defense. They got good point guards, and they go to the free throw line a bunch. So give me some of that.
So double up full game, first half or full game? Both,
no. Just full game. Just full game.
Just full game. Okay, excellent. Let's get to the last one here. UCSB versus UC San Diego. The lines are right 3, maybe 3.5. Total 138. What do you have in this one? Late night action.
This is a spot that I think that you really got to be aware of who's playing for UC San Diego. We did see Tony Rokic make his return to the lineup last time out against San Diego State. And I think that he's going to be critical in this matchup against Amadou Sow tonight. I think that he's going to be able to be the difference maker. I like this line much better when it was 4.5 and 5 than 3. I think at 3, they're definitely telling us that UC San Diego can surprise us. And going up against UC Santa Barbara's defense, when you just went up against the Aztecs defense, that's definitely going to help you in the long run. And I think that with this San Diego State team, this UC San Diego team, while we know that they're an awesome three-point shooting team, what they've really showed us this year is that they can keep a number under 140 and a game under 130. This is a good three-point defense team. This is a good denial defense team, and they keep potent offenses away from putting up their season production. So for me, I got to look at the dog in this spot, but losing so much value, it's just going to have to remain a lean.
Okay, no problem there. Excellent. That is it for you. Let's hit up mine real quick, and then we can get to all the rest of these games I'm sure people are dying to get to. Let's get to my first one, Max. Louisiana Lafayette versus App State. I see this one being an under here. The total we have right around 134.5. App State's favored by 3. I not only think I think App State can cover this number. I think we stay under. Tempo is a big deal. App State's one of the slowest in the country, 325, I think, in that range. They're holding teams to 60 points a game, 61 points a game. Lafayette can score at times. This obviously an opener in the Sun Belt Conference first game. I think it'll be tough. It'll be a rock fight. And the reason why I like the under is it's in the 135 range, right? We have here 134.5. If this was lower, it'd be different. But it being that high, I got to take the under here. I think we see a low scoring one. Even if one team can maybe get to 70, I don't think the other team does. App State let Duke get 92 on them. But even, North Carolina just beat them 70-50. I don't trust Lafayette. I don't trust either of these teams. They struggle at times to score. So give me the under 134.5 here. Did you have anything in this one?
Yeah, for me in this game, Connor, it's definitely strange to see this line staying all day at 3, now going down to 2.5. I think that the biggest issue with ULL is their free throw shooting issues. And is Jordan Brown going to give you 30 points without Theo Akuba in the lineup? So that hurts them. I think with App State, though, they have their own issues, and that's definitely at the 3-point line. But with Adrian Delph, he's the one guy that can hit a 3, and he's their best player. So definitely a tough matchup, and I don't understand why the line is going the way it is. So it makes me definitely want to bet it live instead of pregame.
Yeah, this matchup in the past has gone over a little bit, but I think just at being 1-35, I thought it was a little bit too high. And App State 5-1 to the under its last 6. I think we can stay under in that one. Here's my next one. This one's kind of a split for me, Max. I'm going to kind of do instead of full unit, I'm going to do half on both. I think this game gets over. We're talking St. Joe's, Richmond. Both teams don't play much defense. I think Richmond easily gets in the 80s today. You know how many tons of scores they have on that team. They can fill up the bucket. Both these teams average about 71 points a game, 74 for Richmond. They give up 70. So this one, the line's kind of set right there, but I thought this line could have been higher. So I see a little bit of value in this ball game. I think both teams light it up. I've been surprised by St. Joe's. Obviously, they got slapped around by SC. What was that game? 70-55. They had one other bad loss, but they beat Georgetown. They've come a long way from how bad they were last year, Matt. I mean, it was rough. I think they can score here with Richmond. I think they can shoot. They can shoot the three enough, and if they're dropping, I took the 12 with them, and I took the over as well, 144. Kind of doing a split up here with both of these. Do you have any play in this game?
Yeah, listen, I like the over for sure in this game. I think that with St. Joe's and having Taylor Funk shooting the basketball from all three levels like he's doing, it only helps Jordan Hall, but they need Demir Bishop and Jack Forrest to be able to start producing. And I just don't know if that's going to happen. I think that when you look at Richmond, you know, they suddenly have a ton of depth off the bench that they can use. And I think that when you look at this team now, it's Tyler Burton's team and everybody else is going to fall in line. So they are quite impressive and definitely a team that I like tonight for sure.
Yeah, and as I put it, you talked about all that depth. When I wrote everything down, I just put Burton and company. Because you're right, it is his team, and but I think we see points. And Richmond, I haven't been in love with their defense, and I think if St. Joe's is hitting shots, I thought 12 was just a lot. And I like what Richmond's done so far this year. I thought it was just a little bit high. I think St. Joe's can hang around here, and if they could hit 70, I think Richmond gets right around 80. I think this game could be closer than people think. All righty, let's get to my next one here. Two teams that I've used I remember last week. We have Tarleton State versus Dixie State, Max. Tarleton's favored by 3. Dixie a little home dog here after getting the doors blown off by Southern Utah. We talked about that revenge spot. I still thought they could hang in that game. They did not. I mean, it was 50-17 at halftime. Total here is for me 133 in this game. Tarleton's coming off. They split 2 games with South Alabama. They just beat Air Force 67-45. We had that under. It just stayed under. This is a team, I'll go over it again. They held Gonzaga to 64, Michigan to 65. I know Dixie's a team that probably shoots the ball better tonight, as they did the other day, but I don't know how they get over 60 points in this ball game. I lean Tarleton on sidewise, but I'm taking this under. 133 is too high in this game. This is a dead under for me. What do you think here?
Yeah, listen, I think that the issue with Tarleton is definitely their home and road splits. This team definitely is not as confident to establish their style of play on the road. So that is my one fear. And you are going up against a very up-tempo Dixie State team, regardless of whether they're making shots or not. They're trying to run on you. So it is an interesting stylistic perspective, but from a talent perspective, I think that Montre Gibson and Tajay Small are the difference for Tarleton, and it's another game that we can all watch on the WAC Digital Network, eating cupcakes and dreaming of hot ladies of the night that we're going to take our winnings from that game and spend on.
Definitely. And I just think Tarleton, every time, you think of Gonzaga, they'll play at their tempo. And it makes you think, yeah, Dixie could, and if they get hot and make shots, it could get over, but I thought 133 for a Tarleton game, it's too high. They'll dictate the pace, even on the road here. I worry about Tarleton might score a little too much. I don't, because Dixie's defense at times can be sloppy, but they are at home, and I think I see a better effort. But when I see almost 135, I got 133.5. I got to take the under here in that game. Let's get to my last one here, Max. South Alabama, UT Arlington. South Alabama is favored by 2. Totals 135. I got to take South Alabama here. We talked about they split 2 games with Tarleton. They just beat SIU Edwardsville. I had Edwardsville. They won by 15 in that game. I had Edwardsville catching 11. They didn't get the job done. I think they're just the better basketball team. When I was going through everything in this one, they had some tough losses. They lost by 5 to Bama. They lost 64-58 to Wichita. I think they're just better than UT Arlington. I know they're on the road, but it's laying a short number. I just think they get the job done. I think they can win by more than 2 here. I just think they're the team overall better here. So give me South Alabama -2. Do you have any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, listen, with this game for me, Connor, it's definitely a spot where I think that you got to take a shot with South Alabama on the first half. This is a very good defensive team all around. And you know what? They're not going to settle for threes if it's not dropping. I do want to know if they're completely healthy, but when you look at that starting lineup, the only missing piece is a dominant front court player. And if KO Conclaves can come off tonight and give you a double-double, I think that's the difference in the game. But I'll say this, UTA has played a very tough conference schedule. They have been very good at home in these situational spots. And the one thing that's been playing against them, and the reason why I can't back them and didn't back them, is just because they don't have Pedro Castro. Losing Pedro Castro for the year was the nail in the coffin, in my opinion. David Azori and Javon Levi are not enough to lead this team every game and cash for us.
Yeah, they just played well. You talked about the road. It's a big key here. But those road games early on, those like I talked about, Wichita, Alabama, were close games. Obviously, they covered those numbers. They were huge dogs. They took care of business pretty much the rest of the way. To beat San Diego, Hawaii, not great teams, Southern Miss, Jacksonville State. But I think they can get it done here with that short number. And that was my last one. All I have is a few kind of leans that we will get into with a few of our games tonight. Everyone, load your questions up. I think we can get to the rest of the games here because we don't have a ton left. But first, let's get a word from our sponsor real quick before we get rolling. Here we go. If you're in the San Antonio area, go to Southtown 101. Great karaoke, booze, food. Tell them Conor Max sent you. I'm sure they'll buy you a soda or a beer. Go to Southtown 101. Go to mybookie.ag at promo code PubSports. Use the Bitcoin, transfer at, put 1,000, they give you it back. Just the Bitcoin's really easy to transfer there. And go to manscaped.com. 20% off, promo code PubSport. Get the Lawnmower 4.0, but get the full kit. Get everything. As they say, we save balls. And lastly, get the Pub Rub, $14.99, 2 for $25. I mean, look at the size of these things. Come on. I used them on my steaks. Huge. Go to pubsportsradio.com. Get them. Cop some of our merch, too. Some of our shirts. You see some right down here at YouTube, but at Pub Sports Radio, we got great shirts there. At a good price, too. Really good. So go to pubsportsradio.com. You're done with it. Let's get to the rest of the games, Max. Let's get to Jim. We're right here, Michigan. We talked a little about this, -3 versus UCF. What do you think about this one? Total 139.
Yeah, listen, it's another spot where we're waiting for Michigan super freshman and Diabite and Caleb Houston to start taking on a bigger role of this offense. I think that with this Michigan team, we knew that there was going to be bumps in the road. I think that they do and have figured it out. But this is not a spot that I'll be taking them on the road versus an experienced UCF team. My biggest question for this game is CJ Walker able to handle Hunter Dickinson? And if not him, who can? So just a tough game all around.
Yeah, it's a tough game for me as well. What Michigan team is going to show up here? Max, this team is shit. They were nothing right now I want to touch. I could go in there and see him winning easy. I could see him going in there and losing. So I want nothing to do with this one. Daryl, we don't do parlays much. I'll throw this out to Max, but he says St. Joe's, Utah Valley, Dixie State, Utah, and Oakland, a 5-team parlay.
Yeah,
I mean,
the Dixie State one's the only one that worries me in that.
okay, Dixie State worries them there. Uh, let's touch on this one. Old Dominion, Florida International. This totals 125.5. This has dropped a little bit, Max. This game could stay under. It's right around a pick 'em too, in most spots. What's your look here?
Yeah, listen, I think that it's definitely a number that fits the style of play, but do you really want to trust that they don't make some garbage shots late and that we don't see a big rout and emptying the bench? I don't know. It's a tough game all around. Not going to be playing it either way, though.
What did you think about this one, real quick? LAV, Wisconsin. If you're talking about the football, we're not on that right now, my guy. What about Green Bay and Northern Kentucky? This was a bum fight here in this one. Two bad teams, Max. Totals 128. This one I looked at that maybe could stay under. Northern Kentucky's favored by 8.5. Did you have anything there?
Yeah, I think that would be the way that I look at it from a total perspective, Connor, with Northern Kentucky having Trevon Faulkner and Marquise Warwick both getting back to their mid-season selves is definitely important. But with Northern Kentucky, I'm always worried about how they're going to do on the glass. And going up against Green Bay, while there's definitely not a lot of guys that we're going to really know, Emmanuel Ansong is definitely a guy to be aware of. And with them, it's just a matter of can Green Bay find some consistent three-point shooting throughout their rotation on a nightly basis. If they can do that, then they can challenge Northern Kentucky. But if they can't, this game definitely has the 120s type feel for it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking a little bit in that one. How about this one? Maryland, 12.5-point favorites over Brown. Can this Maryland team do it? It seems short. Do you trust Brown to cover a number like this? Totals 132.5.
Yeah, listen, I think that with Brown, you're going to have to get Keno Lilly more minutes, more touches. He's your best three-point shooter. And outside of that, I don't really know where they get it. The biggest thing for Brown is can they avoid scoring droughts? And then on the Maryland side, with Eric Ayala and Fats Russell liking playing for this Danny Manning system that they've changed the offense up, I think that the biggest question is Maryland going to bust out from the three-point line in one of these games? It does have the feel like Brown does have a rebound game against a much less potent offense that misses a lot of open jump shots. That's the way that I would lean with it, but definitely not one of my favorite plays of the day.
How about this one? Robert Morris over Oakland. Can Oakland cover the 11? I even see some 11.5s, total 149.5. Did you have anything here?
Yeah, listen, with that number being 14.5 on opener, we've definitely seen a lot of respect towards Khalil Spear, Robert Morris and company, but I haven't seen the explosion from Michael Green. I haven't seen just a team that I thought would be a lot better be better. So it's hard for me to judge them hard off their win against St. Francis. That was definitely a game that they should have easily won. It was just lined wrong. I think that at the end of the day, though, Oakland, even without a lot of depth, they're still able to rock out with their cocks out, and they are the lady of the night's friend. I think that Jamal Cain puts up a huge game. I think that they zone up on these guys, and I think that Robert Morris has to have an extreme shooting game to stay within this number. I think Oakland gets revenge tonight, and they open up the Horizon League season, showing who's a bottom feeder and who's doing the walk of the shame to the ATM machine to get money to pay for their extended lap dance session.
They'll need it. I lean Oakland. I don't know. I'm just not much into throwing my money on Oakland laying 11.5, but everyone that is, shout out to everyone that does. Yeah, maybe Oakland first half, as a guy in the chat just said. How about this one, Max? Louisiana Monroe, Coastal Carolina. They're favored by 4.5. Totals 139.5. Can this game get over? Coastal's had a few games get over I've had early in the year. Can this get over?
Yeah, I feel like that's a spot where you definitely want to be looking towards the over. ULM on the road has not been very good defensively. I do think from a personnel perspective, Andre Jones coming over from Nichols has really given them that third scoring option outside of Kareem Ozier and Russell Harrison. I think that ULM definitely needs to get their guards into situations where they can hit free throws, score with the clock stopped against Coastal, because Coastal's a really good home team. And with Mustafa and Hamilton, Ontario's Rudy Williams leading this team offensively, they dominate at home, they get to the free throw line, and they do not leave their money on the table for the lady of the night to put in her pantyhose.
Definitely not. How about this one, Max? Can Wright State, they're favored by 9 over Wisconsin-Milwaukee, cover here and the total at 142?
Yeah, I think that with Milwaukee, you really got to know who's playing. And I think that with DeAndre Golston, this is the guy that's got to be your stability when it comes to this offense. This is definitely a team that can hit some free throws, are very good top heavy scoring wise. The problem is it's just you don't know who's there and who's not. And from what I'm reading, Wright State's going to be missing up to 4 players tonight, none of which have been disclosed that I've seen, and potentially 2 coaches. So not a bet, not a game I'll be betting until I see what's going on and who's available.
This is the great information you get from Max. I love it. Keep you from a team that's playing pretty well right now in Wright State to stay off. Because there's guys sitting out, and especially with college, we don't know these guys are in and out because they don't freaking let you know. These damn universities. How about this one, Max? Fordham, LaSalle. LaSalle's favored by 3, 135. This was a pass for me, but did you have anything here?
Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite games on the board.
Really? I love it. All right.
Yeah, listen, Connor, I'll tell you, I like the dirty fucking games that nobody wants to watch in the arenas that are poorly lit and have even poor camera operators operating them. Yeah. I'll tell you. And this is one of those games because with Fordham and Kyle Neptune coaching this team is 3-point oriented. When you have Antonio Day, who came over from FIU, giving you that type of facilitation, lead guard scoring ability, and a guy that makes his free throws. Then you throw in Darius Quisenberry, who's also a lead guard, very good 3-point shooter, very good inside the paint. So I think Fordham definitely is going to give LaSalle a fight tonight. But for me, at the number right now, I would have to actually look at LaSalle. LaSalle just dismissed, or Sharif Kenny decided to transfer. I don't really care which one it is. He abandoned the team. Now we're going to see how they step up. I think that with this LaSalle team, it's going to be about Jameer Brickus. That's your point guard. That's your freaking mini Posh Alexander, as I call him. And they're going to play well without Kenny. They're going to play well tonight in spite of him. And I think that they're definitely primed to win a game and possibly put a game over.
Definitely. And shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the goddamn thumbs up. That's the least you can do. Because I got to give a shout out to our guy, runs the show, our boss. Happy birthday to our guy Slaughter. It's his birthday today. And you never know, even maybe on his birthday, he comes in and drops cash to chat. Does any other chats do this in any other places? I don't think so. So hit those thumbs up and hit the likes. You never know when he comes in. And I know some of these people, a lot of our guys have gotten $50 cash app to them or more. So keep doing that shit, and good shit will be shown. That's why we got the best chat in the game. How about this one? I didn't touch on it. I'm pretty sure this big game I wanted to talk to you about. East Tennessee State, Chattanooga. They're getting 7.5. Totals 137. What's your look here?
Yeah, listen, I think that with ETSU, this is a dangerous ETSU team with the Brewers and David Sloan. Already you have a decent trio that can challenge, is physical, gets to the free throw line, makes their free throws, and can score from all 3 levels. Now you add Jordan King to the mix. Jordan King has been the difference maker for ETSU. I think that he is a difference maker tonight. Going up against Chattanooga is no small freaking task, I'll say that. but Malachi Smith is definitely the alpha of this offense. David Jean-Baptiste and company need to support him. But my biggest problem with Chattanooga is just, do they have that front court production? Are they getting Avery, Hankton, and company involved? And that's where my questions become. I think that ETSU as an 8-point dog had a lot of value. I think maybe now you look at them first half, and if you want to take a shot with a first half dog, that would be one to look at.
Yeah, I think they could be live here. I like Chattanooga. Obviously, East Tennessee State just beat Georgia. We know Georgia's not that good. They lost to Asheville, but they had good wins. Murray State, a few teams early in the year. East Tennessee State. So I think this could be too many, and you're in that 7.5 that we talk about, Max, for Chattanooga. That might not be easy for them to get the cover here. Someone mentioned the UC Santa Barbara game, the under. What did you think of that, Max? I think it's 137.5, 138.
Yeah, I think that definitely it's a number that we've seen UC San Diego be able to play and keep under. I think that with Tony Rokic, it definitely hurts that aspect. But with Santa Barbara, they don't have that quality guards. They don't have the Ja'Cory McLaughlins and Davari Ramseys that they had the last couple of years. So until they show me something from the backcourt, and I mean some dominance, I definitely think that UC San Diego can muck this game up and not only win it, but keep it under. So, yeah.
How about Daryl wants to know, Lamar, Sam Houston State, over 134.5. The side is 10 as well, Sam Houston State. Anything there?
Yeah, definitely with that Lamar spot. I think that the key for me is what you're going to get out of CJ Roberts. We know that you're going to get a lot of good stuff out of Davion Buster, whether it be ball facilitation, being able to break pressure after a made bucket, that type of stuff. But with CJ Roberts coming over from New Mexico State, we didn't really know that he was capable of this type of offense, being the number one scoring threat, and he's done a really good job. The other part about this Lamar team is now that they're healthy, they seem to be a bit of a sneaky team. So I do think they're going to put up some points. I think they're going to be lackadaisical on defense. And on the Sam Houston State side, we need Savion Flagg to continue to dominate like he has, bringing that Power 5 talent down to the mid-majors. And it's just a matter of, can Sam Houston State avoid some of their team free throw issues? And if they can do that, I think that we find our way into the 140s in this game.
Okay, someone wants to know the Cal State Fullerton Cal Bakersfield game. Do you have anything there? It is just 1.5 totals, 123.
Yeah, for me with Fullerton, I'm obviously really impressed with how EJ Ananowski has complimented Vince Lee and what a force they are down low. I think that with that combination, that's perfect style to go into Bakersfield against a team that wants to bully you, slow down the tempo, and be able to score inside. I think that Fullerton definitely has some interest to me. I'll be looking more into it as it's a later game.
For sure. Let's get to a couple other ones that we rolled through. I want to touch on one of the last ones up top. UTEP versus UAB. Sides 12, totals 137. Did you have any look there?
Yeah, so this is a really interesting game from a stylistic matchup wise, because you do have Joe Golden trying to get some familiarity and normalcy within this roster. You've had guys out with stomach flus, you had guys out with COVID injuries, all types of stuff. And now potentially tonight, they're going to be missing Keontae Kennedy, who has averaged over 20 points per game the last 3 games. So that's a potentially huge loss versus a UAB team. UAB team that is absolutely phenomenal from fucking top to bottom. They got guys like Justin Brown and Tyreek Locure on the bench doing absolutely nothing because Jordan Jelly Walker from Tulane, ladies of the night's friend, Jelly Walker, is fucking with his eyes open, man. I'm telling you. This UAB team is heavy in the backcourt. They're fucking quality in the front court. Trey Jemison in the middle. It's hard not to like UAB in this spot, even though UTEP could have Kennedy, could not have Kennedy.
Yeah. How about this one? Because we touched on the line movement so much about it. I've been surprised in certain spots by UT Martin, Max. What about this game? It's 5.5. We talked about the total dropping to 136.5, 137. Did you have any look here? First half, full game, anything on this one?
Yeah, for me, it's a Fullerton spot. Excuse me. Hold on, what game were we just talking about?
Tennessee
Sorry,
Martin, UT Martin,
okay,
Austin
yeah.
P.
Yeah. For me, I took UT Martin +7 on the opener. I think that with UT Martin, the issue with them is, can they score on the road against this Austin P defense? I think that they're going to be able to. I really like the fact that KJ Simon has really established himself as the leader of this offense. And with Josh Endicott, the North Florida transfer, giving you some very good rebounding and being effective scoring the basketball also from the front court, gives me a lot of fucking pause. I think that when you look at this group, they're going to have to get something out of Chris Nix and Darius Simmons. And if they're able to tonight, I think that UT Martin finds a way to muck this game up and backdoor cover this spread. So I'll take UT Martin and the Skyhawks, and hopefully they just do enough to get me a winner.
Excellent. How about this one? Chicago State Grand Canyon. They're favored by 21.5, 22. Anything there? Low total too, 123.
Yeah, I think that definitely, if you're looking at the under, you're definitely playing with fire. For me in this game, I'm definitely looking at a first half over with Grand Canyon leading the way offensively. I think that when you look at this team, we've expected them to play a lot more high tempo than they have been. And that's been a major problem because you don't have the same quality and dominance of big men that you had last year. I think that with Holland Woods and Javon Blackshear at home, at a home game, conference game, and with the crazy crowd that they're going to have, it's going to be a little too much for Chicago State. And while I do like Brandon Betson, I think that not having Bryce Johnson to go along with Corbett really hurts him in the front court, and that could be the difference maker there. So Grand Canyon on the spread, and looking at a first half over for Grand Canyon to fuck with their eyes open, love ladies of the night, and never do the walk of shame to the ATM machine.
Yeah, don't do that shit. Don't. Let's just touch a few more. I wanted nothing to do with this one. Can it get over? Sacramento State, Southern Utah, they're favored by 15, total 143.5.
I think personally for me, I don't want to be betting totals that I'm relying on Sacramento State to score, and especially on the road. This is a Sacramento State team that plays the same kind of tempo and possession numbers as we've seen with the Virginia Cavaliers. And I think that this is a less talented group than we've seen, especially last year. With them having to run everything through Fowler down low and in the high post, I think it's very defendable for Southern Utah. And if Southern Utah wants to push the tempo and really get this game into the 150s, I believe they can. I think the better way to attack it is to take Southern Utah on the route spot and then look for a team total spot to get on them, either full game or first half.
Let's get to this big one, Max. There's a couple late night, and we're almost done here. Utah at Oregon State. Utah's favored by 4.5. Talk about bad Oregon State's been all year. Utah's always struggles on the road. They're a little bit better. Total 138.5. Anything here? Well, you're a Pac-12. I know. Go ahead. Go.
Yeah. The one thing that does help Utah in this situation, Connor, is the fact that Brandon Carlson will be back in the lineup for Craig Smith tonight. I think with Oregon State, 2-10 ATS with a lot of games at home does not give you a lot of confidence. But like you said, Utah on the road as a favorite is a dangerous spot. For me, it's definitely a Utah first half spot if I get to the window with it, and that's a big if. Sort of like walking into a dimly lit apartment with a lady of the night that isn't speaking English to you, but spoke English to you on the phone. Very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. All right, just a couple more. This one's interesting. Eastern Washington catching a few points. Totals 145.5. Did you have anything here? Portland State? Yeah, I think that this is a game that we see Eastern Washington hopefully not struggle scoring the ball, but it's really going to be about who's available for Eastern Washington. I think at the number right now at 2.5, it's definitely valued, but they need a Cleese in the lineup. He didn't play last time out. That definitely hurt them. I think that going up against quality Power 5 defenses and now going up against this Portland State team is going to be beneficial. I think that it's definitely a spot where I look at Eastern Washington at least first half, see who's out there, and then make a evaluation at halftime.
That was perfect. Yeah, it's a wait and see as well for that game. And you can wait later tonight to deal with that because I think you need to. All right, last couple. South Dakota State, North Dakota State. They're favored by 2. High total 152.5. Any look here between the states, South Dakota, North Dakota State rivalry.
Yeah, the number that I bet is long gone with North Dakota State. So now at 2, it's kind of hard to. It's borderline irresistible to take South Dakota State. They're really fucking with us, but
Hey,
it is what it is.
hey, I did glance through there. You guys sure this game is still not canceled? I think it might have got canceled somehow.
Maybe I still have it on the book,
Okay.
but it might have. You might be right. We're getting games canceled left and right. That's about it, unless there's one more game. Idaho State, Montana. Max, anything there? Montana's favored by 11.5. Total 120.
Yeah, with Montana at home, it's definitely a good spot for them to put a beating on a Idaho State team that they match up well against. They have faster guards, and I do think that they can come up with a fucking nice performance tonight. It's definitely not my favorite type of number to lay with Montana, but definitely a number that I'm willing to lay at home versus familiar opponent where Montana does have a very good track record in these conference openers.
Yeah, I am staying way far away from that one. Alrighty, that is it, Max. Let's get to it. Hit the thumbs up, hit the like, hit all that good shit. We appreciate it, guys. Any last words for the chat, Max? And go ahead and give us your best bets for tonight. Then I'll do mine.
Yeah, listen, I think that it's definitely important to not get bogged down with line movement, especially with these COVID times. You really don't know who's going to be in the lineup until we see social media or beat writers announce it and put out those starting lineups. So don't rush. Don't let the amount of games bog you down. And if you need to, go get a fluid extraction at your local strip club. They still need our money, and you can help support them. So I'm relying on you. As far as best bets tonight, I'm going to go with a spot that we actually didn't talk about. Texas State against Troy is going to be a spot that I'm going to be riding the first half over. I think that even with Texas State not knowing who's going to be in the lineup or out, I think that Troy's the one that really presses the tempo tonight, and I think that they find their way over 61.5 in the first half. My second game is a game that we already talked about, already a spot that I talked about, and La Tech first half -3.5. That's what I'm going with. Big Kenneth Lofton is going to use that ballerina-like footwork to score me buckets, play some defense, and put Marshall in their goddamn place. Do not let Tavion Kinsey go off. And the last one that I'm going to get on is definitely a spot that I think has a lot of value still. And I think that it's a spot that we're not really going to have to have our ass clenched for. So I'm going to roll with Southern Utah, team total over. I'm going to ride the 79.5. Give me 81 points, and I will be not expecting anything on New Year's from Dr. Mandy. So lock me in, Connor. I like those 3 plays. Those are going to be my 3 best bets.
I'm locked in. By the way, yeah, sorry I didn't hit Texas State. We did talk about it. Sorry, in the line movement. So that's kind of why I must have just forgot about it in the end.
Oh, good, bro.
Line movement portion of the show. Nate, just go back. Listen to, unless you want to tell. We're waiting on players for Wright State. So there's nothing. Max has nothing right now. I guess message him maybe later. So it's a wait and see, right, Max?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, wait and see on that one, Nate. Alrighty, for me, Lafayette App State, total under 134.5. I think it stays under this total. I lean App State a little bit on the side. This one I'm on both, but I have plus 12 St. Joe's. I think we get over 144. Tarleton State, Dixie State under 133, and South Alabama, just go in there and get a win. Doesn't need to be pretty, but South Alabama -2 over UT Arlington. And that is it for me. We're out of here, baby. We are done. Right on the dot, right on the number, Max. That is it. Shout out to everyone, everyone in the chat. Mark, what's up, my guy? Nasty Nate, Daryl Turner, Rem Mose, Cash Action Bets. Hit the like button. Like Slaughter said, could have money. Y'all know what you guys are waiting for. MMA Locker Room, Mills, Roland G, Preston, Daryl, Brandon Gaines. There's our guy Tone. What up, Tone? In the chat. Jay Peasy, Roland G, everyone. Cash Action Bets, The Grinder, Rob, everyone else. Epic Cappers. We appreciate you all. Let's have a freaking day. Let's get it, Max. Let's cast some shizit. He's the legend. He's the great one, Maxwell Smart. I'm Conor Mack, and we be pumping! Get that.